Hello, and welcome to another video, where today we are playing Kerbal Space Program. Now, as it is a new game, we do have to create a new save. Now, what we are going to call this save is going to be the West Goldfield Space Agency. We are going to put it on Career, with difficult options on Normal, and I think we can now choose a flag. Now, in my opinion, I think that the orbit flag looks pretty cool, so that's the one we'll go with. Now we can just click start and get into the game. Right here we can see that we are being welcomed to the Space Center by Gene Kerman. As we can see, he is going to take us for a quick introduction. He tells us we can move around and how to do some basic controls. This actually means we need to go to mission control. And seemingly the easiest contract we can pick is the one from gathering scientific data from Kerman. What this requires us to do is just look at the crew before launch. What this means is that we can recover any science experiment to do this, and I don't even think we have to launch a rocket. So what we'll do is actually accept this contract. So now what we can do is go to the vehicle assembly building and build not even a rocket. I think we can just put a command pod and then put on some science. Now what we'll do is make sure we have a crew and then just launch the rocket. Now what we should be able to do is just right click here and click Observe Mystery Goo. And there we go. We will now click Keep Experiment, and now we should be able to recover the vessel. As we can see, that did give us science on our own, and some data points. And as we can see, we didn't lose any money as we recovered all of our parts. Jebediah is ready for another assignment, although he did not gain any XP. And that should be our contract completed. And as we can see, as it's in our archive, we can see it says complete. Now, we have a new contract we can choose from, which is launching our first vessel. As we can see, we need to launch a vessel off the launch pad or runway. Now, it doesn't actually tell us any requirements for height or anything similar, so we definitely should accept this contract as it would be super simple to complete. Now, escaping the atmosphere also seems like a pretty simple thing to do. All we have to do is go above the atmosphere by going above 70,000 meters. And I think that this is going to be pretty easy to do, especially because it gives us 11,000 points to spend to do this. If we look at Orbit Kerman, this might not be as easy to do because we don't have as many parts yet. But I do think after we complete these two contracts, we will be able to do that. Now what we'll do is just go to our vehicle assembly building, as right now we don't have much of a choice between rockets or planes. Now of course we do need a command pod, and immediately I am going to put a parachute. Currently we do not actually have any fuel tanks, so I do want to see if we could try to get some advancements. To do that, we can go to the Research and Development Facility, and we can look at Basic Rocketry and Engineering 101. And I do want to take note, Engineering 101 has a few useful parts, but so does Basic Rocketry, as it gives us fuel tanks and a real engine and a larger solid rocket booster. So this is what I will do. Right there, I assembled a basic rocket just to get off the ground. I don't want to try to breach the atmosphere right now, as I don't think it's going to work too well. Of course, we are going to toggle on SAS, and now we will just launch the rocket. And it seems I made a mistake and somehow already deployed the parachute. I guess they were in the same action group. With that said, we do not want any problems. I am also not sure what is going on, but we are going pretty fast into the ground. So I am going to use our engine just a little bit to counteract that. I'm really not sure what's going on with our view, but who knows. And it seems we actually landed safely. Now we'll just recover the vessel. And there we go, we recovered our vessel and got science points for that. As we can see, we got a lot of our money back because of recovery. And as we see, Jebediah is ready for a new assignment. Immediately what I would like to do is go to engineering and research this, as this gives us pretty important parts, both science and couplers, which allows us to make multi-stage rockets. Now, as far as survivability, I don't think that's something we'll be able to look into for a while, maybe. Stability is something I like to get pretty soon also, because it gives us the decoupler, and winglets and aerodynamic parts, which makes it much easier to control the rocket. General rocketry isn't super important in my opinion, at least early game, as it doesn't give anything super notable. Now what I would like to do is look at our contracts. And as we can see, we completed our launching of the first vessel, which completed that contract. And now we can see we actually have a lot more options to choose from, including specific testing of parts. Now, I do believe we have this part, and it doesn't require a lot, I don't think so. This contract does seem pretty straightforward, as I'm not sure if it means we have to launch a rocket and then decouple in the staging, or if it means that we have to launch it while not even in the air. But I do want to check that we actually have this part first. And as we can see, we do have this part, so I do think we should accept that contract, as it will be pretty easy to complete. For this, I think what we will do is something like this. Of course, this time we are going to make sure our action groups are in the correct order, and now we will just launch the rocket. Of course, we're going to turn SAS on, and then we can just go. Now we did actually lose the engine, as it is currently sinking to the ground, or underwater, but we did still get the actual capsule to survive, so that is a good thing. As you can see, we got a little bit of science, but most importantly, we recovered a little bit of money, our crew is okay, and I believe that means we completed our contract. But it seems that we did not, which I am not sure why, but I guess we could just try again. Presumably it wants us to land directly back onto the runway, or not the runway, but the launch area. But just so that we can get a little more out of this, I do want to actually put some scientific components on the vehicle. And now you can try again. Again, we'll turn SAS on and launch the rocket. And there we go. Seemingly, we did complete it. Wait a minute. I think I just remembered something. I believe when you're doing this contract that you actually have to right-click and then click a button called Test. But I don't think we actually got anything as far as completing the contract, except a ton of science. Now if we check our mission control, we can see that again, we did not complete it. So this is going to be our last try. Now again, I didn't see a button for it flying or on the ground. So now I am going to look up what is the problem and how to do it. So apparently I have to first land and then test it maybe? I mean, I'm really not sure. But we will try to launch the rocket again. Of course, though, that does mean we have to change the order of the action groups. And it is the correct part, so I mean, right, isn't it? TD12. And it wants us to test the TD12. Now, of course, activate the part through the staging sequence when all test conditions are met, which it doesn't lay out anything specific, I do not believe, but we will try one more time. That did not go to plan either, but seemingly we are struggling with this contract, so we will, I guess, do the other contract, which is to get out of the atmosphere. Now for this, I do think I want to get this because we will need a heat shield, probably more parachutes, and a service bay wouldn't be a horrible thing to have. Additionally, we do get another scientific device. For this, I also like to research stability, but we do not currently have enough research points, so we will have to hold off on that for now. But with these new parts, I will start constructing a new rocket. This right here, I am pretty sure is the best rocket designed ever. But we cannot have more than 30 parts apparently, which means we have to get rid of some things. Now, I think the easiest thing to get rid of would be these fins, as there are a ton of them. And we can try again. Now the rocket is too heavy. So maybe we could do something like this. Maybe this will work for us. But I do think a few fins should be used. And there we go. Now we have the second best rocket ever. Now, of course, we are going to turn on SAS, check that our staging is correct, and make sure we have a parachute. Now we can launch the rocket. Now it seems we are missing a fin right now, but I'm sure it will be fine. Which meant that we were unable to turn, but now everything should be okay. Everything is not going okay, that we are struggling to control our vehicle. I probably should not have put those landing gears there, as now we have no control of our rocket, and it is creating way too much drag. So we do have to try to turn this around. And it's gonna happen again. Now we have to try to get higher. Now that is all of our fuel gone, and we did not complete this mission, but what we can still do is do our science experiments. As we can see, if we recover this, we get 9 science points. Again, this one gives us 10.8, and this one gives us 7.2. Now, I will probably next time not put any landing gears on, because we will probably land in the ocean, and it is pretty unnecessary if we are doing that. So now, we are just going to land the rocket and recover it. And there we go, we splashed down, and now we can recover our vessel. Now, unlike past missions, we probably will not get as much of our funds back from recovering parts. But as we can see, Jebediah is ready for his next assignment. Now that we have more science, I do think we have to look into stability and general rocketry. Hopefully now, we should be able to escape the atmosphere. Now immediately, the first change I am going to make is changing these 4 tanks to be just 2 tanks. And as I said before, we do not need the landing gears. Now, I do think we should get rid of the solid rocket boosters there, and just put this one large one. And this should give us plenty to get out of the atmosphere. But I do want to put just one more tank. And now we can try to launch the rocket again. I should probably also put on some stability. Hopefully, this can escape the atmosphere. Of course, we're going to turn on SAS, turn our boosters to max, and launch the rocket. That right there is our contract for escaping the atmosphere complete. Now, I just made a pretty large mistake right there, and I accidentally jettisoned our heat shield. So, Herman is probably not surviving this. So we are going to... We can't even transmit the data, I guess, as we have no antennas. And now we just have to hope for the best. And here comes the moment of truth. Now I'm hoping, because this is a lighter rocket and, you know, we have a... Oh yeah, see, that's not gonna be good. Pointing? Yeah. But seemingly we survived, but it's not gonna be pretty, alright. Because we are currently missiling into the ground at a very rapid rate. And that was a pretty catastrophic failure. Now, I feel like it might be okay to revert, because that was a mistake on my part and it was actually a misclick. So I do think I am going to revert the mission and we'll try it again. So here we go, we'll try to launch the rocket again. Now this time we can intentionally get rid of the heat shield to lighten the vehicle. And now we can splash down safely. Now we'll recover the vehicle and see the contract money roll in, some research points roll in, and we can now take a new contract, or at least have space for one. As we can see, we recovered a pretty small amount of the vehicle. As we can see, we only recovered 3.6 thousand, and the vehicle itself cost 9.7. Now, if we check our contracts, you can see that we have a ton of contracts still. But we still haven't been able to complete this contract, and I really do not understand why. So if you do know, it would be really helpful if you could let me know in the comments, but at this point, I think this is a good place to end the video. Anyways, that's the end of this video, and I really want to thank you for watching through the whole thing. It really means a lot. In the meantime, if you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them down below, and have yourself a great day.